Sure, come on in.
So we're just following up from the media roundtable, Dr. Boyce.
Okay.
And a bunch of us have been up there, but this is an opportunity for the media that have joined us. Carol Robideau represents the Manchester Inkling. This is Dr.
Hey,
Boyce.
Manchester Inkling, I'll give you.
Okay, great. Hey. Yeah.
Good, so we also have WMUR here, and
Okay.
John is here representing the local access TV.
Okay.
I'm also a user of, of the facilities, so thank you.
Okay.
So Dr. Boyce, we just spent the last hour and change hour plus talking about high reliability. I said all good things about you.
Oh, no.
I just want to shut this off.
Come on in.
But really wanted to give them an opportunity to talk
Sure.
about the journey that we've gone on over the last 18 months.
Sure.
How high reliability falls into that, whether it's patient
Yes,
safety,
please.
process improvement, leadership commitment, those types of things. And your perspective as being one of the lead whistleblowers,
Yeah.
and what that's meant to you, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna be quiet now and just let you go at it.
It's been an incredible journey. You probably understand. When we started this, I was able to get 13 physicians together to try to affect some change in our, hopefully in a positive way. And it went beyond what many of us expected. The thing that really sort of amazed us is how open the VA was to listen to our stories. I mean, I wasn't sure if they were going to shoot us or, take me for a ride somewhere. And none of that happened. And in fact, my meeting with Dr. Shulkin couldn't have gone better. And I think that the moves that were made early on were brilliant. I think they brought the right people in at the right time. We didn't need to get hit by a club over the head. We needed someone to listen to what our story was and try to affect positive changes. And when they parachuted Al and Brett Rosh into here, and later, I guess, parachuted Dr. Zimmerman in. I don't think it could have been a better group of people that came to listen to us. I feel proud of what happened. I didn't do it to get a better parking space or a corner office or a settlement. I did it because I thought there were some real failings in the evolution of medical care in the VA, and that as a physician, I was in the right place at the right time to affect some change. And then that's what we've seen. Now, I think that the latest arm that we're walking down in terms of this program that Al is rolling out is just part of that evolution. And after they listened to our issues, we got action. And whether it's talking to Billy Cunningham, who's our guard who greets everybody in the morning, or the people who work in the cafeteria, people throughout the facility have noticed a difference. Veterans have noticed a difference. Yesterday I talked to someone down in Nashville to make a referral. I hadn't talked to this person in 10 years, and yet they brought this issue with the VA up. So even though it seems like a long time ago, it's still on the tip of the tongues of a lot of different people. So that's my point. I think it's really has sort of come together. Are there questions or? things that people would like me to address? Because I could go on for hours.
Well, as a user of the hospital, I'd like to thank you for blowing the whistle. Because when I first started using it around 2010, when I came back to Manchester, I was getting excellent care, and then something happened, as you know. Yeah.
And, well, you know what? I did this. This is my retirement job,
Right. So
which is sort of funny because I spent 28 years in private practice. And the day or two after I was planning to have my retirement, I had been called up and said, would you like to work part-time? And I jumped at it because I saw it as a chance to give back to our veterans what they had put into, protecting us. And I'm just overwhelmed really on a daily basis of stories I hear from our veteran population. And so it's been an unusual ride, and it's been a great ride to try to help these people. So.
Yeah, I was telling Carol, there's great people here. You remember when I used to wobble around on the cane? Remember the time I was falling apart? Because you mentioned we were on radio together. But I can't remember his name, but he was a former Navy commander, and he wanted to do what you did. He came and worked at the pain clinic. And boy, he helped me so much. And I can barely,
Was his name Tom?
I can't, it's one of those things when you're in pain.
Oh,
and then
no,
I saw
know
him the
who
other
it is.
day.
Russ Lewinsky.
Yeah. And he came, just like you, to give something to the veterans. And and I saw him the other day. It's like it's like remembering through, because time can become very fluid when you're in pain or you have PTSD.
I have
his dedication.
There's a wonderful story that I tell, and this gentleman wouldn't mind it. I was running an amputee clinic, and I had a patient that had 5 tours of duty at Delta Force over in Iraq, and so finally I got around to the 800-pound gorilla question, which was, how did you deal with losing your leg and no longer being able to be on Delta Force? And he looked at me and he said, no, I lost my leg before I joined the Delta Force. So he spent 5 tours extracting people at 2 in the morning over in Iraq and Afghanistan with one leg. How do you explain that? And yet I see that kind of commitment monthly, weekly, daily from people. So
I think you addressed this a little bit, Carol, but I was, I guess, pleasantly surprised to see that you would be part of the tour today, and I don't know how many situations where an organization's whistleblower is part of the rollout of the new PR, initiative. So I feel like that's an interesting dynamic, but it is unusual, and you said that. You didn't know what was going to happen, but I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit more, but that you're still sitting here and still doing what you're doing and under a sense of change, and maybe some of that change had to do with you.
Well, I didn't go into this change, like I said, looking at what I could get out of it. I went into it seeing if I could exact some change that would be positive for the veterans. And so from my point of view, I never expected not to. But I remember the first day coming in, not knowing whether I was going to have a job or how people were going to react, because I had this big spread on the Boston Globe, and I didn't know if there were going to be darts stuck on the office wall with that picture up. And I'm in the parking lot. One of the custodians rolled out their window, and I didn't know what they were going to do. And they gave me a fist pump and thanked me. And that got repeated 100 times during the day. People, I went to the cafeteria, said stuff, and it was people folding sheets. It was nursing. It was from all walks of life here, saying positive things. And then all of a sudden, Al Montoya and Brett Rush show up. And again, I'm not sure what's going to happen. And they just wanted to get my perspective. And at that point, I realized that, I was tickled pink to be part of the process. And, I hope to be part of the process for as this goes forward. And I know one of the neat things with Al is he's not afraid of my ideas. And like I'll talk to him about some crazy ass thing that, Dean came and all of a sudden me and Al are meeting with Dean. And Dean's a great guy, and he's crazy, but he's a great guy. And I love just sitting there listening to Dean, because every time I go there I learn something new, and he teaches me stuff. And I have a friend named Larry Gammon at Easter Seals. And Larry I tried to get into see the director twice, and they were awful to him. This was
The old director.
The old directors. And you know what? Al said, great. And we went and met and were working on things. And I know Dr. Zimmerman was interested in the Luke Arm project that we did. And that was a really neat thing, where we fit this vet with bilateral Luke arms. Had never been done before anywhere. And to be given that kind of opportunity, as a physician is sort of a wonderful thing. So I think Manchester, my hopes is that we have a lot of talented people in Manchester and in New Hampshire in general. And to be able to bring together the regional players to really create something that's wonderful. And I think we're positioned well in terms of our size and our population, that if we get it right here, I think it's a no-brainer to try to take it to the rest of the VA communities. And I think they're ripe. I get a lot of emails from physicians around the country, wanting to know, jokingly, but not jokingly, like, do I teach courses on how to be a whistleblower, or how did we come up with this? But I think people are ripe for change. The people in the trenches are ripe for change. And I hope that that this is just sort of the beginning.
I think, Carol, really to kind of go to your question here and talk about high reliability, that's what this is all about. Right? High reliability is about engaging the front line. It's about listening. It's about whether it's a provider or a housekeeper or a food and nutrition worker, or you name the occupation, feeling safe enough, right? Having that culture of patient safety, having that culture of process improvement, leadership engagement and commitment. We could not have made it this far had we not already been going on that journey. And so that's what's so amazing about this. And when we were upstairs, I consider Dr. Coyce a friend. I'm down here a couple times. See, it feels like a couple times a week, so much that he can't cause trouble anymore, right?
Yeah, that's a technique,
right? But we're partners in making sure that we're taking care of veterans and that we're taking care of each other, and that's what we all want to do, right? We have 900 employees who are dedicated to making sure our veterans get the absolute best care. We can't do that if we stifle ideas. We can't do that if we say, I'm not going to listen to our frontline employees. So you bring all three of those factors together, and you get an amazing experience. You get a reason for veterans to choose VA, and that's why I'm so proud to be partnered with Dr. Coyce, to listen to his ideas, to come down here and have him be a part of this journey. I can't think of a better partner, to be honest with you.
You know, I saw this very similar thing play out in the car industry. Because in 1975, I was on the auto line in Janesville, Wisconsin. I got to put the unleaded gas only stickers on the gas. That was one of my first jobs. And there was bitterness between the auto workers and the management because we, on the line, no one listened to us. And yet we were doing the job. We knew why things were broken and why things wouldn't work. And it took General Motors a long time to figure that out. And it wasn't until they had lost a lot of auto share and had really almost tanked their business before they started to take feedback from the people that were doing the job. And so I think one of the great things with the management philosophy realignment is that they're now taking input from the people on the front lines. And they're taking people input from the veterans, which is sort of, there's some characters out there, you know. I really enjoy a couple of the people I meet at some of these town halls and stuff.
Remember the first town hall? When Al's there, were you there? Did you cover it?
I don't know.
Geez, if Mike Lopez wasn't there. He used to be an alderman. He's, who knows what I had. But Al's there. Oh, I'm Air Force, which are, you know, when you're in the Army or something. And, oh, here's my phone number. It's like, and he told me later, I'm there with, remember it was the cane. He thought I was going to hit him with the cane. It was, they didn't even put me in the video coverage. But there's a reason why you gave out your phone number, isn't there?
There is.
And do you want to tell people what, Carol, why?
Yeah, because I think we have to get out there in the community. We
Right.
have to, you know, whether it's my cell phone number that we give out to our veterans who are struggling or who meet that barrier, or our community providers, you know, they should be able to break that glass and call. You know, I tell a story of a veteran, you know, when I moved from VA Connecticut up to White River Junction VA, where my phone rang. I gave out my number down there in Connecticut. My phone rang. And you know, I was in a meeting like oftentimes we are, and I let it go to voicemail, and it rang again. So I knew something was up, and I picked up that phone, and I heard on the other line some voices. Couldn't really discern much, but once I actually started listening, and that's the key here. Once you start to listen, you hear things. And in that opportunity, I heard one of our congressional partners, who was dealing with a suicidal veteran, who was struggling. And so we were able then to get our VA police involved in White River, to get involved with the VA police in Connecticut, to get involved with the local police, to save that veteran's life.
Mm.
If it takes me giving out my cell phone number and listening, whether it be to our veterans, or whether it be to our employees, or whether it be to our community partners, isn't that what we want?
Yeah, and later on, when I started hearing good things about Al, saying, I should have written down his number. But you later gave me a card.
But you know, one of the things I also noticed is that having come from private practice for 28 years, there's different things that motivate patients in private practice versus the veterans. And I'll be honest with you, the amount of stuff that the average veteran went through to get to the point that he's now seeing me just blows my mind. And I receive almost no frivolous calls. I receive almost every call I get is incredibly important and measured and respectful. And it's a hard place to find that many people that really paid the dues and are that respectful, you know.
How long have you been here?
Since 2012. So I know where the bathrooms are, I know where the cafeteria is, and I've seen a lot of different patients. I was here at the beginning of the opiate issue. I worked and started to organize the pain clinic, and did a lot of interesting stuff here, and you know, seen the whole thing really turn around.
So I do definitely want to be respectful of our
Yeah.
clinical appointments as well. So I think
You
maybe
mind if I do
one
one
more
really
question,
quickly?
absolutely.
Yeah, specifically about the HRO concept. Will that improve care here, and what more needs to be done to improve care here?
Well, I'm sort of a strong believer that either you stay still and decline, or you move ahead and improve. And I think the first thing is the fact that we're bringing this program out is us trying to move ahead and improve. Now, you guys might not like me saying this, but I have no idea what this is going to look like in 6 months or a year. But I'm excited that we're going to be trying something. Because my thoughts are that where we end up is going to probably be very different than when we started. But that there's going to be a continuous upgrade and improvement as we try to get to where we want to be. And that's the important thing. Now, how can we improve stuff? I think we have to improve certain things. This is not a finished product. And I'd like to see continued physicians take advantage of the VA system. I think we're ripe to bring in quality physicians, especially as, you know, the insurance companies get overwhelming on the outside. There are a lot of good physicians that I'd like to cherry pick and come into our VA system. So that's one area that I'd love to see us improve. Plus, I think we're poised to have the best healthcare system in the world. We have the resources, we have the great patients, we have funding, we have facilities. And I don't think there's anything that really will block us from continuing to grow into really the lead in medical care. Now, that wasn't always like that. You know, 15, 20 years ago, people didn't turn to the VA as a leader in healthcare. But I think there's potential that as we continue to work together on this, that we're only going to see improvement of our bottom line and improvement of the standard of care that we deliver. So
I think that's what's so amazing about this is that we're leading for the country, not just in VA, but across all healthcare. And so this is a journey.
Yeah.
You know, we can always improve, and so that's what's so amazing about this.
And that perhaps it could provide a template for healthcare for all. I mean,
Yeah.
the conversation around affordable healthcare and people that don't have healthcare versus those that do, and Obamacare, and how do we get people, and should we have government healthcare? You know, it seems like this could be.
Well, I think
extended.
everybody should have health care. We live in a great country. I think we should be having health care for people. And I saw what we did with the Luke arm, where we had a technology that started here. And it was an amazing thing. And I think that that's where we need to take advantage of. We need to look at our community people and our resources locally and work with that. And, you know, you go over to Thailand, don't ever order French food over there, but you get some Thai food, and it's pretty good. I think you go locally, we go to what we have locally, we grow that, we work together on that. We work with Dean and we work with Larry and we work with the local hospitals and the local providers. The local politicians have been great. You know, I usually don't like politicians. I think our politicians have been great. You know, and it's a small enough state that it functions like a little town. So,
Thank you very much for your time.
no
Right.
problem. Thank you guys.
So I just want to, I want to tell everyone thank you so much. I think, you know, we've been such good partners in this last
Yeah.
18-month journey, and you know, really to help move the organization, not just Manchester, but the entire Veterans Health Administration forward. You know, it's such an honor to do that together as the first site. And so I know we want to get some pictures as well.
Oh,